first because it's the middle of the night and I don't know how many people are going to be joining. So, welcome, I suppose. I'm going to set a like goal. Let's say the goal is 10 likes. And let me pin that. Hello, if you're here. There we go. There's already one. Thank you. For Buff, it's 444. Here it's 245. I've got 2 likes now. Yay. Okay, so I thought I'd whisper some facts. Hey, North Sky, it's good to see you. I pulled up a fact about languages. But if anyone wants to recommend a topic before I get into it, let me know. Or do you want to hear facts about different languages around the world? I think it's a good list. I haven't really looked through it. I just looked at the first few facts and went, yes, good. That's good. And I did get some sleep. I got maybe like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And now I'm very much awake. So I'll probably just pass out in like 3 or 4 hours. Buff watched a horror movie. Oh no, what did you watch? Was it a good movie at least? It must be because it's keeping you awake. I go home today, so this is gonna be the last can't sleep stream for a while, I think. Unless my insomnia comes back. But normally when I'm home and I can't sleep, I just edit videos or even film videos, so I don't have anything to do right now while I can't sleep. But I'm going to get started on facts. So these are facts about languages around the world. So the first fact is Russian was the first language in space. Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space, so it's no surprise that the first language ever spoken in space was Russian. The Russian cosmonauts actually made milestones in space exploration a little earlier than astronauts. Additionally, Russia's Soyuz spacecraft is the only means of traveling to the International Space Station. Since all its controls are in Russian, all astronauts must learn the language. Oh, you saw Smile. Yeah, that looks like a really bad movie. Yeah, I know it's been advertised on my channel. Very strange. Anyway, next fact. Basque is a mystery language spoken by about 700,000 people in the Basque country in Spain. This language is so unique and unrelated to any other language that experts still aren't sure where it comes from. It even has its own numbering system. Next fact. Scrabble letter distribution differs with each region and country. International versions of the board game Scrabble reflect how different languages work. In Poland, the 5th most common tile is C, while in Finland, the 3rd most common tiles are T and N. For Slovenia and Catalan, E is the most common tile, the same as in the original English version. Next fact. English has the most words of any known language, at approximately 750,000 words, with new ones each week. English has the largest vocabulary of all known languages. We bet their dictionaries are way thicker too. Next fact. The world's most translated novel almost flopped. Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist holds the Guinness World Record for the most translated book by a living author. However, it did not have a great start. Originally written in Portuguese, the novel almost flopped in Coelho's native language to the point that the publisher did not want to reprint it. However, the French translation topped French bestsellers, eventually leading to its critical acclaim. Currently, the book has been translated into 80 languages and distributed in 170 countries. I've never heard of that book. Have you guys heard of this book, The Alchemist? I've never heard of it or this author, but maybe I should check it out. Apparently, it's good. Next fact. There's an interesting Bible myth about the origin of language. The Tower of Babel is a tale warning against man's hubris, but it also gives an interesting explanation as to why people speak different languages. According to the tale, people used to speak only one language. After a great flood, a unified group agreed to build a city with a tower high enough to reach heaven. Because of this arrogance, God made them speak different languages in the middle of the process. The construction was halted because the people could not understand each other anymore. From then on, they separated into different nations, which is why, according to the Bible, different countries have different languages. That's interesting. I've never read the Bible, so I never really knew the story of the Tower of Babel. I just knew it had to do with languages. Next fact. Ambigrams are words that look the same from different angles. For example, the word swims will look the same even when upside down. Oh, that's so cool. Let me see. Swims. Take a look. It's the same upside down. Similarly, sons and dollop will still read the same way. That's so cool. Next fact. Most people in the world are second language English speakers than native English speakers. About 1.5 billion people speak English, but only 360 million out of the bunch are native speakers. It could be because English is just the most taught language, and a bunch of people with different mother tongues picked it up along the way. Kudos to anyone who speaks English as a second language. It's a terribly difficult language. Next fact. Every 98 minutes, a new word is created. That makes about 14.7 words a day. On estimate, 5,400 new English words are created per year. However, only 1,000 of those words are adopted by the public into general use. I feel like we should invent a word right now. What's a word for when you can't sleep, so you decide to whisper to strangers on the internet? Let's see. Any ideas? I think it should be something like whisper wake. Oh, that's kind of pretty. I invented a word. Whisper wake. That's a really pretty word, actually. If anyone wants to steal that to make an ASMR channel, feel free to do so. Next fact. William Shakespeare invented 1,700 words. Shakespeare coined over 1,700 of our common words by changing nouns into verbs, verbs into adjectives, combining words not used together, adding prefixes and suffixes, and composing original words. You know what's wild to me about Shakespeare words is that he invented the word alligator. Alligators live in the Americas, so people hadn't seen alligators, but he made up that word, and then once Europeans discovered alligators, they decided to call them after the Shakespeare word. That blows my mind because it's such a common, obvious animal word. Next fact. The word synonym doesn't have a synonym. How's that for strange language facts? Next fact. The longest word without vowels is rhythms. Rhythms is the longest common word without any vowels. I guess if you don't count the Y. The longest word you can make with only 4 letters is senseless. Makes sense. Senseless. Yeah, it only has S-E-N and L. The next fact. The word goodbye is a combination or contraction of God be with you. Goodbye originated in the late 16th century. It was first written as Godbwye, goodbye, in Gabriel Harvey's 1573 works. Thanks, North Sky. I'm glad you like my whisper wakes. That's a really cool word. I just pulled that out of my brain. Next fact. Russian is the most widespread native language in Europe. Of all European languages, Russia is the most common with 120 million native speakers. German follows at 95 million native speakers. In addition, German is the only official language of Germany, Austria, and Liechtenstein, and a secondary language of Switzerland, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Russian might be the most common language, but German is more officially used in trade and commerce. Next fact. Japanese has no distinction for singular and plural words. The Japanese language doesn't have plurals the way English does. Plural words are not individual words, but a combination of the word plus a number and or counter before it. In some cases, repetition of kanji indicates plurality. Wow, that's pretty cool. Japanese grammar is like on a whole other level of grammar. It's so different from any other kind of grammar. Next fact. N is the most common English consonant. N, R, and T are the most commonly used consonants in the English language. Wow, you'd think would be like S. But, N, okay. Next fact. Learning a second language can slow aging. With all the memorization and acclimation, learning other languages also improves memory. In fact, studies show that bilinguality can delay the onset of dementia by several years. Wow, let's all learn a language to help our brains. Next fact. Over 200 artificial languages have been invented for media. It's not uncommon for fiction writers to throw in an original language in a world-building process because what's a lore without that much attention to detail? However, fake languages were used centuries ago in languages created for philosophical debate. How interesting. What's everyone's favorite fake language? I know, High Valyrian is really big right now. But I think Klingon sounds the coolest. Next fact. Onomatopoeia varies with each country. Onomatopoeia is defined as a word formed from the sound it makes. For example, the bang of a drum or the hoot of an owl. However, not everyone hears these things the same way. An American would say a frog goes ribbit, ribbit, but a Japanese person would say it's kero, kero. I love onomatopoeias in different countries. I think it's the best. Some onomatopoeias are better in other languages than English. I think my favorite is the sound that dogs make in Japanese is wan wan. You love that word. Which one? Oh, the one that I made up. Just beautiful. It's good to see you again, by the way. You've been in all 3 streams that I've done. All 4 streams now that I've done. Oh my gosh. And we're at 3 likes. The goal right now is 10. So if you haven't liked the stream already, give it a little thumbs up. Next fact. Half of the world is bilingual. Out of 7.7 billion people, over half speak 2 languages. Bilingual people also tend to be bicultural. Makes sense. Next fact. There's a language that consists entirely of whistles. Oh, thanks for the likes. The Silbo language of La Gomera, Spain. Oh, Simlish is great. Sul Sul. The Silbo language of La Gomera, Spain is a tonal language fully made up of distinct whistles. Whistled languages are also found in Turkey, France, Mexico, South America, India, and Africa. Next fact. I knew this one. Botswana has a language made entirely of clicks. Click languages or Khoisan languages use solely clicking sounds to communicate. Typically, they're made up of 4 clicks, but the southern languages use a 5th as well, which goes. They have and I don't know the 5th, but those are the clicks that I know. Next fact. 30% of English terms come from French words. English words are derived. Over 10,000 English words are derived from French. This is largely due to the Norman invasion of 1066, when William the Conqueror, or Guillaume le Conquérant in French, won the British throne in the Battle of Hastings. I never thought of it that way. Next fact, people who speak Chinese use both sides of their brain. Based on a brain scan conducted by Wellcome Trust on Mandarin and English speakers, it was concluded that Mandarin takes more brain power than English. English speakers only have activity on the left side of their brain while communicating or listening, but Mandarin speakers have activity on both sides. I wonder if that has to do with the tones. Like maybe words are on one side and tones are on the other because we don't have tones in English. Not like they do in Mandarin, at least. Next fact, the term water is air in Indonesian. I guess they're saying the word for water in Bahasa Indonesia is AIR, like pronounced like the word air. It's interesting. Next fact, the world record for most languages spoken is 58. Wow. Ziad Faza of Lebanon holds the Guinness World Record for most languages spoken. Faza claims he's fluent in 58 languages, including Arabic, Polish, Thai, Urdu, Norwegian, and more. However, the title is quite disputed. Although Faza has proven his prowess in tests, there have also been cases where he failed to understand basic languages he claims to master on live TV. Ooh, controversy. Next fact, the UN has 6 official languages. The United Nations' 6 main languages are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. Most UN documents are released in these languages. The next fact, the longest word in Finnish language is this word right here. Can you see it? I'm not pronouncing that. Next fact, not keyboard smashing, TCGR and TFTK, TSTT are actual words. The Tashlit dialect of the Berbers in North Africa contain vowelless words such as those. Next fact, 9 languages don't have words for color. They only distinguish between black and white. In Dan, New Guinea, things can be either mealy, dark, or mola, light. I know that in other languages, I got to 5 likes. I need 5 more, guys. Thank you. In other languages, they don't have different words for different colors. Like in English, we have blue. It can be like cyan, or now I'm blanking on words, like different words for blue, different words for red. A lot of other languages aren't like that. Like every shade of blue is just called blue. Whereas in English, we have different words for like every single shade. In the Yiddish language, finger means toe. Okay, moving on. That's weird. Next fact, when a word creates another word when spelled backwards, it's called semword nalab, which is palindromes backwards. For example, pots forms stop, which is why it is a semword nalab. I get it. That's pretty cool. Does everyone have a favorite palindrome? My favorite palindrome is race car, which means that you can spell it the same way front to back. It's the same word. The next fact, the largest alphabet in the world is 74 characters long. The world's largest alphabet belongs to the Cambodian language Khmer, which consists of 33 consonants, 23 vowels, and 12 independent vowels. Wow. Pretty cool. I'll have to highlight that on my channel someday. Next fact. There are over 200 extinct languages. Linguists predict that at the end of the century, 50 to 90% of the 7,000 languages will become extinct. Extinct languages languages are those with no surviving speakers, records, and/or data. Next fact. Asia has the most languages of all continents. That's a good one. I feel like that comes up in trivia a lot. Which continent has the most languages spoken? It's Asia. Asia has about 4.46 billion people speaking 2,300 languages. The population of the continent is about 6 times that of Europe, which is why it's not a surprise that the continent has many languages. I feel like whenever that question comes up in trivia, people think Africa has the most languages. But there's so many Asian countries that speak multiple different languages because of different ethnic groups. Like more varieties of ethnic groups, I want to say. Next fact. French was the UK's official language for 600 years. Similar to why 30% of English words are derived from French, William the Conqueror's rule influenced the mother tongue of the UK. Because the people in power spoke French, England adopted French as its mother tongue until the 15th century. Yeah, that's something that people don't know. In like medieval England, they spoke French. I've got 6 likes now. Thank you. If you haven't liked the video already, give it a little thumbs up. I'm trying to hit 10. Next fact. Mandarin is considered the hardest language to learn. Yeah. Aside from the intimidating list of characters to memorize. Hey, Laura's here. Yes, hello. That's so cool. Aside from the intimidating list of characters to memorize, Mandarin's tonal nature makes it highly nuanced and hard to learn for those accustomed to English. However, it is still the most commonly used language in the whole world. It's pretty wild how the hardest languages in the world to speak are like some of the most common. Isn't that interesting? Next fact. Lingua franca are also known as bridge languages. A lingua franca connects speakers of different mother tongues through a common language. For example, when traveling, you'd be more likely to ask questions in English than your mother tongue, depending on where you are, of course. Last fact. Cantonese is the most used language for business around Southeast Asia. About 60 million people in Southeast Asia use Cantonese as their main business language. Cantonese is the most common language for business and trade because most Chinese who immigrated to Western countries in the 20th century came from the Cantonese-speaking areas of China. That's pretty neat. All right, what facts should I whisper about next? I could do, I have to find them on this website, but various people, places, things, animals, events. Just nothing too, like, upsetting to YouTube, you know. Hi, Kusia's here. Hi, Kusia the cat. Good to see you again. If anyone has some ideas for whispers, like different facts. Oh, there's some like spooky facts or different mythology facts, or let's see, just random facts. Let's see, spooky facts. Okay, let me just look up the word spooky. Okay, how about scary facts? Let's see. Neo can't sleep either. Well, welcome to the club. Let's do, let's just do Halloween facts. Why not? So, first fact. Finding a spider on You Think You Could Whisper Relax? Yes. I invented a new word called whisper wake, which is when you can't sleep, so you whisper on the internet. So I am doing a whisper wake. So first fact, finding a spider on Halloween night is considered good luck. Despite the common phobia of spiders, many people share. Spotting this insect on Halloween night is considered great luck. It is believed that if you see a spider during Halloween, it means that a loved one is watching over you. In many parts of the world, spiders are seen as a symbol of wealth and prosperity. Another superstition states that if a spider crawls into your pocket, it will bless you with everlasting wealth. I'm up to 8 likes. I just need 2 more to hit the goal. Please, please, please. That would be awesome. Next fact. The first jack-o'-lanterns were carved from turnips. You may automatically associate pumpkins with jack-o'-lanterns, but this wasn't always the case. Traditionally, the Irish used large turnips and potatoes for carving the first jack-o'-lanterns. Upon bringing the practice to America, the use of pumpkins soon took over. Probably a less smelly alternative. Oh, I'm sorry you're afraid of spiders, Neo. I get it, spiders are really creepy. I'm not so much afraid of spiders as I just don't want spiders to be like near me or on me or like on my clothes or my bed. If I see a spider, I'm okay, but if I see a spider near me, that's a whole different story. I don't like that. Next fact. Spirit Halloween is one of the most popular Halloween stores in the United States. Spirit Halloween specializes in decorations, costumes, accessories, and Halloween props like fake blood and vampire teeth. Founded in New Jersey in 1983, the company has since expanded to over 1,000 locations located all over North America. One of the reasons why this store is so popular is due to its exclusive decoration items manufactured by popular brands such as Yuja and Morbid Enterprises. Am I the only person who goes to Spirit Halloween just to like shop for like regular accessories, jewelry, clothes? Am I the only one? You can get great throw pillows at Spirit Halloween. They're all spooky. Is that just me? I don't know. I've bought some outfits from Spirit Halloween. Next fact. There's a movie series called Halloween. I love that movie. The Halloween movie series began in 1978 with its first installment, Halloween. As of 2020, there have been 11 films and 2 upcoming movies scheduled for release in 2021 and 2022. The films have also collectively grossed over $640 million at the box office, and even has its own video game based on the storyline of the films. Yeah, Halloween 1 is my favorite slasher movie. It's a good one. Next fact. German model Heidi Klum is famous for her outstanding Halloween costumes. Apart from her modeling career, Heidi Klum is known for her love of Halloween and extravagant costumes. Each year, fans look forward to her costumes, eventually dubbing her as the Queen of Halloween. Of all her costumes, the most notable ones include her 2015 Jessica Rabbit and 2018 Fiona costumes. Other similar yet iconic costumes include her catsuit in 2007 and a senior citizen costume in 2013. Yeah, if you haven't seen Heidi Klum's Halloween costumes, they're on a whole other level. Like she uses prosthetics all over her body and her face to look completely different. It's really incredible. Next fact. On average, kids who trick or treat will bring home a bag of candies worth 11,000 calories. This amount is the average that a plastic pumpkin bag can hold, which equals to around 365 teaspoons of sugar. This is also 7 times the recommended daily sugar intake for children. Definitely one of the concerning Halloween facts in terms of nutrition. My mom had this idea because we're really big on Halloween. I grew up in a Wiccan home, so my mom was Wiccan. Halloween was like the biggest night of the year. We'd go trick-or-treating and we could come back, and for like that first hour we could eat as much of our candy as we wanted. Like we would just go so hard on all the candy, and then we would crash and fall asleep, and then candy was rationed out for the rest of its duration. But for that like one moment on Halloween night, we could eat all the candy that we could eat. It was great. Next fact: in pardon me, in Alabama, wearing a nun or priest costume for Halloween is illegal. Once caught dressed up as these religious figures, violators may be charged a $500 fine as well as a year in prison. Wow. Passed by the legislature of Alabama in 1965, the provision considers the act as a misdemeanor that disrespects the religion and those who put their faith into it. Similarly, the law prohibits people from dressing up as any other religious figures in the state of Alabama. That's wild that you could go to jail for dressing up as a priest. Wow. This next fact is very bizarre because it's about Walnut Creek, California, which I am kind of in. I'm now sitting right now in an unincorporated part of Walnut Creek. So that's really weird. So, next fact: Walnut Creek, California prohibits Halloween masks without permits. Although masks are pretty much a standard for Halloween, you need to secure permits before donning one in Walnut Creek, California. The Walnut Creek authorities strictly implement this law to prevent criminal activity during Halloween celebrations. It is also implemented for children to avoid costumes with masks. To get a permit for wearing a mask, the town sheriff must first approve your request before giving you a printed permit. Now there's one for sensible Halloween facts. I think that's because Walnut Creek has a big shopping district. And, hey, every now and then is from Australia. Hello. G'day. And the shopping district, they have a big phobia of smash and grabs, so they try to do everything they can to prevent smash and grabs, so I think that's why. Next fact: originally the film Halloween was going to be called Babysitter Murders. Before it became the cult classic we know today, Halloween producer Irwin Yablans intended for the film to be called Babysitter Murders. The producer initiated the concept of setting the film on the holiday itself, which led to the titular film series. Creative liberty aside, Halloween definitely has a nicer ring to it than the other title. Next fact is the first Halloween movie was also filmed in 21 days. In 1978, filming for Halloween officially began in southern Pasadena, California. The film's main setting featured an abandoned house that was previously owned by a church. For the film's climax, the production crew also utilized 2 other homes by Orange Grove Avenue in Hollywood. After a brief total of 4 weeks, production wrapped up filming by May 1978. Definitely one of the more admirable Halloween facts. Yeah, I know when they filmed Halloween, they barely had a budget too. I think that's why the movie's so good, because it looks so raw, natural, Next facts: the jack-o'-lantern borrows its name from a stingy man named Jack. According to an old Irish legend, the practice of carving produce for Halloween comes from a man named Stingy Jack, who once invited the devil for a drink. True to his name, Jack didn't want to pay for his drinks, which led to a series of tricking the devil. After some years, Jack passed away and had his soul left in the dark, using only a carved turnip to light his way. How's that for dark Halloween facts? Interesting. I like that story, I guess. It's interesting. Next fact: the fear of Halloween is called Samhainophobia. For a holiday largely revolving around fear, you may or may not be surprised that a fear of Halloween itself exists. Samhainophobia roots from ancient pagan traditions that come from Celtic druids. The phobia is characterized by an intense, persistent, and abnormal fear of Halloween and anything related to the traditions. Does anyone here have any bizarre phobias? I know Neo has a phobia of spiders, but that's not really a bizarre one. I feel like that's a practical one. I have a phobia of, how do I describe this? smell of it. I don't like how it feels. I definitely don't like how it tastes. So, like, whenever I see it, I just get very, very nervous and very antsy. Just like raw lettuce, but not like raw spinach. It's mostly things like lettuce, cabbage, not so much. I think that's because I love cabbage. I don't know. Very strange, but that's how I am. Next fact. Statistical studies found that 50% of children prefer to receive chocolate on Halloween. Another 24% stated they prefer non-chocolate candies, and another 10% preferred to receive gum. The rest stated that they enjoyed gummy and hard candies better. Among the most popular candy bars included Reese's peanut butter bars and other melt-in-your-mouth candy. Hi, Lynn. Welcome back. I'm doing some ASMR, whispering some facts. It's good to see you again. 50% of children prefer to get chocolate, whereas 100% of me prefers to get chocolate for Halloween. I love chocolate. What's everyone's favorite Halloween candy? I just really like the little chocolate bars. Like, as long as it's like a mini candy bar, the fun size candy bar, I just like those. It doesn't matter what it is, unless it's Mounds. I don't like Mounds. I don't like coconut. Reese's is so good. Oh my gosh. Reese's cups are so good. It's amazing. Next fact. The word witch comes from the Old English word Wicca. The Old English language, Wicca, refers to a wise woman. Historically, the term described women healers. The term was also attributed to midwives and those who would practice the art of witchcraft. Yeah, as a person who grew up in a Wiccan home, I definitely know that one already. Next fact. The world record for the heaviest pumpkin weighed 2,624.6 pounds. Matthias Wilhelmins of Belgium holds the current record for growing the heaviest pumpkin in the world at roughly 1,190.49 kilograms. Authenticated by the Great Pumpkin Commonwealth, or the GPC, in Ludwigsburg, Germany. Wilhelmins officially achieved the title on October 9th, 2016. The Great Pumpkin Commonwealth. Do you think they celebrate the Great Pumpkin? Next fact. The owl is a popular image used for Halloween. October is also known as Owl Month and is associated with Halloween due to their nocturnal nature. It is also believed that owls once served as witches' companions along with black cats. Typically considered clever and cunning, owls have a heightened capacity to accomplish small tasks for their owners, making them dependable familiars. Kind of like in Harry Potter. Next fact, which is like so well known in the movie world. Michael Myers' mask came from an altered Captain Kirk Star Trek mask. In an interview with William Shatner, he revealed that the Michael Myers mask used in the film was a prop he would often use when trick-or-treating. Formerly a Captain Kirk mask, Halloween's production crew painted it white for the killer's iconic visage. The film crew decided on the Captain Kirk mask because of its emotionless mold that gave it a creepier appearance. Since then, all masks for the movie series have been made the same way. Wow, I didn't know that. I thought that was just for the first movie. Next fact. I thought that they did that because James Cameron went to a Halloween store to find a mask, and he couldn't find a good one, so he just bought the William Shatner mask and painted it white. Next fact. The candy Milk Duds were originally intended to be made in the shape of a perfect circle. In mass production, duds refers to defective or imperfect items. Hershey's intended for Milk Duds to come in perfect circles. However, the caramel center's consistency greatly hindered its form, which earned it the eventual name of Milk Duds. How's that for Halloween facts to chew on? I like Milk Duds. They're, pardon me, they're really, really, really chewy, but I like them. Well, they're chocolate, so. Yeah, I like, what are those called? The malt balls. sizzles more than milk duds. Next fact, the world record for the fastest pumpkin carving is 16.47 seconds. Hey, I hit 10 likes. Thank you guys. I hit the goal. I'll set a new one after this facts thing is done. Stephen Clark of the United States earned the title for the fastest pumpkin carving at a little over 16 seconds. Featured on the PX11 Morning News, Clark achieved the feat in New York City in the Halloween of 2013. The requirements for pumpkin carving states that the jack-o'-lantern must have a full face, including eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. Now, there's no way that it was just like a normal pumpkin, because there's no way you can gut a pumpkin in 16 seconds and carve a face into it. So I think for the contest, they must have already carved it out, because you can't carve out a pumpkin in 16 seconds. There's no way. Next facts. Oh, another mask one. In Dublin, Georgia, any type of costume that covers the face is illegal. For those aged 16 and over, it is considered illegal to wear any type of costume that covers your face. Sunglasses, hoods, and anything else that covers your head or face are also prohibited. Like most regulations on Halloween costumes, the law acts as a preventive measure against crime and other heinous acts done under the guise of masks or other props. I mean, it makes sense. Next fact. Count Dracula was not the vampire's original name. Originally, the famous vampire was named Count Vampire in Bram Stoker's novel. Numerous tall tales once suggested that Stoker got the inspiration for Dracula's name based on a legendary figure in Romanian history. Born in 1431, Vlad Tepes served as the Count's main inspiration, more famously known as Vlad the Impaler. The ruler had many theories surrounding his gruesome practices. However, the connection between Vlad and Stoker's Dracula has since been disproved. I think Bram Stoker just borrowed the name because he was known as Vlad Dracul. But I don't think he actually based it on Vlad the Impaler. I think that's just a misconception. Next fact. The American capitals of Anoka and Salem are self-proclaimed Halloween capitals. These American states, I don't know where Anoka is, anyway. These American states take Halloween celebrations seriously and take pride in their efforts for the holiday. Anoka is one of the first cities in the world to begin the traditional celebration of Halloween that discourages playing tricks or causing trouble to others. Oh, that's pretty cool. Salem is also known as the Witch City for its extravagant decorations and haunted houses. Historically, Salem also bears the unfortunate mark of the Salem witch trials, which lasted from February 1692 until May 1693. Throughout this period, the town executed 19 people by hanging upon accusing them of being witches. Next fact. Halloween is the second highest grossing commercial holiday. This makes it second only to Christmas in the United States, according to the National Retail Federation of 2012. According to data, the average American would spend nearly $100 on decorations, candy, and costumes each year for Halloween. Gosh, I already spent like $40 on makeup for my Halloween live stream. I'm so excited for it, you guys. I hope you guys come. I love that Halloween is on a Monday, and Monday is my streaming day, because Halloween's my favorite holiday. I'm dressing all out. I can't wait for you guys to see. Next fact. If you are over the age of 13 in Belleville, Missouri, you cannot ask for Halloween candy. In this town, children over the age of 13 can no longer go out to trick-or-treating during Halloween. This law enforces the idea that this activity is done by children only. Furthermore, the state of Missouri also has a curfew for trick-or-treaters when they can only collect candy until 8 or 9 p.m. Now, hold on, that's not fair because 13-year-olds are still children. I trick or treated till I was 17. But the last year I did trick or treat for UNICEF and I collected coins to send to UNICEF. I was kind of bummed though I didn't get any candy. I had to borrow my friend's candy. The next fact, in the film Halloween, the knife sound effects are made by plunging a knife into a watermelon. To replicate the grisly hack and slash effects, the sound production team used watermelons, plunging a knife into the fruit at the studio. How's that for behind the scenes Halloween facts? I love sound design. I think it's the coolest. I learned about it. I grew up in a zoo. I practically lived at the zoo as a child, and one of my favorite elephants there is the voice of the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. And it's really weird to hear in that movie. But obviously her trumpet has been changed to sound more like a roar than an elephant trumpet, right? Next fact. Trick-or-treating tradition is believed to have originated from Celtic traditions. In the history of Halloween, trick-or-treating is said to root from old Samhain festivals. Dating back to the beginning of the 9th century, Samhain festivals practiced lighting bonfires and wearing costumes to ward off evil spirits and ghosts. Over time, this tradition was slowly changed to introduce friendlier customs to children until it evolved into what we know today. I wonder if this is going to talk about why Halloween is the way it is today and how it's not so much about pulling pranks, but we'll find out. Next fact. The largest Halloween parade in the United States is annually held in New York City. First held in 1973, the Village Halloween Parade was established by Greenwich Village puppeteer Ralph Lee. Yes, I hit the 10 likes. Should we set a new goal? Should we do 15 or 20? Let's do 15. How's that? Let's do goal 15 likes. And let me pin that real quick. There we go. Let's try to hit 15. To this day, the parade remains the largest Halloween parade. Hey, Whimsical Apple. The largest Halloween parade in the U.S., exclusively held in New York City at night. Each year, over 50,000 participants join the parade in their costumes, viewed by an average of over 2 million people annually. That sounds like so much fun. Hey, I got a like, thank you. Next fact. Boston, Massachusetts holds the biggest record of jack-o'-lanterns lit at once. In October 21st, 2006, Boston, Massachusetts set the world record for the most number of jack-o'-lanterns lit at once. The total count amounted to 30,128 simultaneously lit lanterns. I'm halfway through this article about Halloween, so if anyone wants to suggest a different topic, just drop it into the chat. This website has facts about people, places, things, events, things like that. So if there's anything in particular you guys want me to whisper about, just drop it in the comments. Or the chat, I mean. Next fact. According to statistics, children are most likely to get into an accident on Halloween night. On Halloween night, the rates of pedestrian-related accidents generally increase. According to statistics, children are 43% more likely to get into an accident on Halloween night compared to any other holiday. Definitely one of the Halloween facts to look out for. That's so true. Next fact. In some American cities, Halloween was originally referred to as Cabbage Night. The name Cabbage Night comes from the typical use of rotten cabbages for Halloween pranks. In some cities, people also gather leftover cabbages in a pile on a field, eventually lighting it up. Today, Cabbage Night refers to the night before Halloween instead of Halloween night itself. Next fact. Traditional Halloween colors include black, orange, and white. The colors black and orange symbolize the fun and frightful sides of the holiday, such as the orange of pumpkins and witches in black robes. The color black also represents the time when the dead can cross over to the world of the living to celebrate with us. 13 likes, keep them going, guys. Next fact. Halloween scarecrows symbolize the ancient and agricultural roots of the holiday. Scarecrows are one of the most iconic decorations used during Halloween. The scarecrow is said to represent the celebration of the autumn harvest season, as they are typically placed in large crop areas. Farmers also use these decorations to ward off birds from consuming their crops. Well, yeah, that's what they're for. Next fact. Every now and then, if you're still here, let me know if this is true. Some countries, such as Australia, believe that Halloween is an unwanted holiday. Halloween is mainly considered an American tradition and is not often celebrated in other countries. However, other countries still hold similar holidays that celebrate the dead or remember the loved ones that have passed. Yeah, Halloween is slowly becoming a more common holiday around the world, but I get why some cultures wouldn't want to celebrate it. Next fact. Canton, Ohio has the largest haunted house in the world. Known as the Factory of Terror, this Ohio destination has made a name for itself as a premier haunted attraction. Founded in 2002, the Factory of Terror has since attracted thousands of people from all over the world. Holding the Guinness World Record for the largest haunted house in the world, the Factory of Terror features 5 separate themes that people can choose from. That sounds like fun. I don't find haunted houses to be scary at all. I think they're fun. Crimson Blue says, true, many Australians dislike the idea of imported American holidays, but younger people love it. I know my kids do. That's neat, yeah. So they don't like the concept of the holiday, they just don't like the fact that it's an American holiday. Kuzia says it's the same in Kyrgyzstan. Wow. Yeah, I think it's more common around the world to not do any Halloween things than to do Halloween things. Next fact. Pumpkins classify as a fruit, not a vegetable. Fruits are often classified as produce that contain seeds. On the other hand, vegetables have edible roots, flowers, leaves, and bulbs. From this principle, the pumpkin is officially classified as a fruit instead of a vegetable. Next fact. The holiday of Halloween was also influenced by ancient Roman festivals like Pomona. Halloween was influenced by many Roman fall festivals combined with Samhain traditions. Among these Roman influences are the Roman goddess of fruit and vegetation, Pomona, who inspired the practice of apple bobbing and pumpkin carving. Hey, Jellyfish, welcome back. Hello, James. Good to see you. We're whispering facts about Halloween. I need one more like to hit my next goal for likes, so please like this video so that it gets circulated more around YouTube. Because at this time of night, oh, there it is. Cool. Why don't we aim for 25 likes? How about that? Let's reach for it. So I feel like we're gonna hit 20 likes. Let's try to get 25. What was I saying? I don't remember. I was saying hello to everybody. Next fact. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I'm whispering facts right now about Halloween, but if there's any other topics or events, hey, Bite, good to see you. Good to see you. If there's any other topics or like people, places, things, events that I should whisper facts about, that if I can find them on the website here. Hey, Siobhan, welcome. Just drop it in the chat if you want to hear me whisper about other things. See, the more likes we get, the more people join. So please like this so that we have more people learning some facts. So let's whisper a little bit more about Halloween. Next fact is, Bite's gonna pop in for a sec. Good. I hope I get you more tired so that you can fall asleep. In Hong Kong, Halloween's known as the Festival of the Hungry Ghosts. Hong Kong natives refer to Halloween as Yulan, believing it as a time where the gates of hell open to unleash spirits that haunt the living. As a result, the typical Yulon practice includes offering food to ancestors, so they may appease malignant spirits who walk among them. This is believed to bring peace to the family as well until the next celebration. Nice. I like that idea. Tell us a fact about me. Let's see. I have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. How about this? I mentioned this a while ago. I get ASMR tingles in my right leg. I don't know why. Like on the outside of my right thigh, I can feel tingles almost as strongly as I can feel them in my head and down my neck. That's my random fact for you guys. Next fact. The traditional version of trick-or-treating was called souling, like Souling. Souling was a tradition recorded in parts of Britain, Flanders, southern Germany, and Austria in the 18th century. Considered a Christian practice, souling referred to an activity where the poor would visit the homes of the rich to ask for soul cakes. After some years, the tradition was taken by children, with the cakes replaced by sugary treats. Next fact. In 2010, the National Retail Federation stated that only 46.3% of households give out candy on Halloween. On average, this is equivalent to around $2.6 billion spent annually. This means that the average American spends $25 on candy alone. Yeah, I usually spend about $15 to $20 on candy. To give away, of course. Right? Next fact. Cats play a prominent role in traditional Halloween folklore. In Halloween folklore, the black cat is often associated with witchcraft. Others believe that these black cats are the witches themselves in disguise to hide from humans. In many cultures, the black cat is considered a sign of misfortune or bad luck. Even though they're the sweetest cats, I love black cats. Next fact. Harry Houdini, the famous magician, passed away on Halloween night in 1926. This famous magician is known for being a master of escape. Harry Houdini fascinated many and made a permanent name for himself with his illusions and stunts. In 1926, he passed away from a ruptured appendix. Today, however, many speculate the true cause of his death to this day. I didn't know that. I learned about that when I had appendicitis when I was a little kid to make me feel better that I survived it. Next fact. It is believed that if a child is born on Halloween, they will be able to talk to spirits. There are many beliefs regarding birth on Halloween Day. One of them includes being born with the ability to communicate with ghosts and spirits. James wants to know what my favorite trigger word is. I like spectacle. Spectacle is a great one. Some also state that a baby born on this day will become immune to evil spirits and have the ability to read other people's dreams. However, some believe that if a baby is born on this day, he or she will be cursed and unlucky. Next fact. The first printed mention of Halloween in North American territory occurred in 1927. The earliest mention of the term trick-or-treating dates back to November 4th, 1927, from a publication in Alberta, Canada, that featured nearby festivities. At the time, Halloween provided an opportunity for people to experience strenuous fun by roaming around neighborhoods. I didn't know that trick-or-treating, like the phrase trick-or-treating, came from Canada. That's pretty cool. Next fact. The Halloween tradition of dressing up as ghosts comes from ancient Celtic traditions. During the ancient celebration of the Samhain festival, people would often wear costumes to ward off bad spirits and ghosts. Bonfires were also lit as people gathered around them to honor saints, until All Saints' Day branched out as its own holiday. Next fact. Ireland is believed to be the birthplace of the Halloween tradition. Halloween is said to have come from the ancient Celts who lived over 2,000 years ago. The land Celtics used to consists of Ireland and the United Kingdom. Next fact. China holds Halloween festivals by lighting dragon-shaped lanterns. China considers Halloween as one of the few important holidays of the year dedicated to worshipping their ancestors. This festival entails the custom of lighting lanterns in the shape of dragons that are lit and presented offerings to the spirits. The lanterns signify the people's wish for a bright future. Many of these lanterns also come decorated in red and gold, each representing happiness and wealth. How's that for interesting Halloween facts? Yeah, I didn't know that. That sounds really cool. Next fact. Halloween has several names other than All Hallows Eve or All Hallows Evening. Apart from common modern alternatives to the celebration of Halloween, the holiday also takes after many other names. Other terms for Halloween include Witch's Night, Lamb's Wool, Snap Apple Night, Samhain, and Summer's End. I have not heard of most of those. That's weird. Next fact. In Scotland, girls believed that wet sheets could help them see their future husbands on Halloween night. During the Middle Ages, women in Scotland believed that they could find their future spouse with the use of a sheet. On Halloween night, these sheets would be soaked in water and hung in front of a fire. By doing this, they believed the sheet would display what their future spouse looks like. Okie dokie. Next fact. Halloween is believed to have originated during 4000 BCE. According to historians, traces of the Halloween holiday date as far back as 6,000 years ago. However, some believe that this holiday is not as old, only going back to the Middle Ages. I want to see. I need a potty break. Let me do something on here. Oops. Let me see. So, nobody leave. I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick. Okay, so let me just make a little note on here. Okay, let me do this. Let me set down my computer. Hans, you love Kanye, don't you? You always come in here and talk about Kanye West. Let me see this. Yes. I hope you can read that. Okay, hold on. Oh. Let me mute it so you can't hear me pee. Good, you're all still here. Yay. Thank you for sticking around. Usually whenever I walk away, people start leaving because they think I'm gone, but I am not. All right. Let's get back to the facts. If anyone has a topic they want me to whisper about, I'm not going to do Kanye West. Sorry, Hans. I'd rather do more historical figures, you know. But speaking of historical figures, next fact. Halloween was once associated with Guy Fawkes Night. Hold on, I need some more water. I'm going to have to get some more in a minute. Okay. Also known as Guido Fawkes, Guy Fawkes became infamous famous as a member of a provincial Catholic group involved in the failed gunpowder plot, the gunpowder plot of 1605. The celebration of Guy Fawkes Night is typically celebrated on the 5th of November after Halloween celebrations. I'm glad you're feeling tingles, Neo. You don't need to stay awake. If you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. It's fine. I'm going to leave this up on my channel so you can watch it on another night. Many believe that Guy Fawkes Night acts as a Protestant replacement for the Samhain custom and celebration of Halloween. That makes sense. Next fact. Each year, Americans spend around $86.79 for Halloween-related goods. According to the National Retail Federation, the United States spends an average of $9 billion on Halloween-related items and activities. In 2018, over 175 million Americans were expected to partake in Halloween events and celebrations throughout the 50 states. $86 kind of sounds like what I'd spend on Halloween. I buy new stuff every year. I love Halloween. Next fact. Reese's Cups rank as one of the highest selling candies during Halloween, as it should be. Reese's Cups are god tier candy. In 2019, Monmouth University conducted a study to rank the most popular Halloween candies in the United States. In the survey, 36% of participants favored Reese's Peanut Butter Cups over all other Halloween candies. This is followed by the Snickers bar, which is favored by 18% of participants. Snickers are okay. I'm not a big fan of candies with nuts in them, but I'll still eat them. I like chocolate with caramel in it, or like, I guess Reese's, where it's that weird peanut butter filling. Next fact. The state of Illinois produces 5 times the amount of pumpkins than any other state. In 2018, a total of 5 states produced more than 1 billion pounds worth of pumpkins. The state of Illinois produced a total of 500 million pounds worth of pumpkins, making it the #1 producing state. On average, a farm in the state can produce around 40,000 pounds of pumpkins per acre. The average price for these pumpkins is $16 per 100 pounds. Definitely one of the cooler Halloween facts. So it's 16 times 40,000. That's how much these farmers make off of pumpkins. That's wild. Next fact. Some traditions state that walking backwards with inside-out clothes will let you see a witch on Halloween. Based on old folk tradition, some people wear their clothes inside out and walk backward on October 31st. This stems from the belief that upon doing so, a witch would appear to them at midnight. Why would you want to do that, though? That's strange. Next fact. Bonfires are an important part of Samhain pre-celebrations of Halloween. Very true. The Samhain festivals held many traditions that include offerings for the dead and the lighting of bonfires. The ancient Celts considered this the most important of quarterly holidays at the time due to its association with the underworld. Yeah, I loved after trick-or-treating, we'd gather around our bonfire in like our front yard and eat candy and enjoy the fire. So nice. Next fact. Some animal shelters forbid the adoption of black cats during the Halloween celebration. That's good. Shelters established this rule to help decrease the number of inhumane rituals done to black cats on Halloween night. On any other day, black cats commonly have the lowest adoption rates and take up to thrice as long to find a new home. That's so sad. Black cats are so sweet. Next fact. Pumpkin-themed foods are popularly eaten during Halloween. Among some of the common treats on Halloween include pumpkin pie, glazed pumpkin cookies, roasted pumpkin seeds, and more. Other foods also include candied apples and Irish treats such as potato pancakes. Yummy. Many drinks such as lattes and frappuccinos are often pumpkin-themed as well to celebrate the season, one of which includes the famous Starbucks pumpkin spiced latte, or the PSL. What's your guys' favorite pumpkin treat? Mine is definitely roasted pumpkin seeds. It tastes like popcorn. So good. Next fact. The night before Halloween, Halloween is referred to as Mischief Night or Goosey Night. This holiday is more commonly observed by children and teenagers who engage in pranks and vandalism. Mischief Night is also known as Devil's Night, Gate Night, and Moving Night. The earliest reference to this day dates back to 1790, when a school's headmaster encouraged a school play when it closed with the phrase, "An ode to fun," which praises children's tricks on Mischief Night in most approving terms. Very strange, but I like it. Oh. Thanks for the likes, guys. Keep them coming. I'm trying to hit 25. 25 is like my top goal for the night, so I won't go any higher than that. So if you could get this to 25 likes, that would be really, really cool. Thank you. Hi, Abigail. Welcome. Right now I'm whispering facts about Halloween, but if anyone has any other topics, because this article is almost done, just drop them in the chat and we'll do that one next. Next fact. Candy corn was originally named chicken feed due to its shape and color. First produced in 1888 by Wonderly Candy Company, this famous confectionery used to be known as chicken feed. Despite being a Halloween staple, the taste of the candy is considered polarizing and has been the subject of debate numerous times. Other variations of the candy are also produced, such as bunny corn, reindeer corn, cupid corn, and Indian corn. Definitely one of the more curious Halloween facts. Yeah, candy corn is disgusting. I don't understand why people like it. It tastes like just like bad sugar. I hate it. Next fact. Ireland has traditional Halloween bread. The barmbrack bread is a traditionally baked fruit bread from Ireland. This treat is commonly made for the Halloween celebrations in the fall. The bread consists of yeast and dried fruit soaked in hot tea. Sounds good. Some traditions involve a ring baked into the bread to promote luck to the person who receives it in their slice. That sounds really yummy. Next fact. Women initiated many Halloween traditions. During the Middle Ages, many Halloween traditions involved women finding ways to see their future husbands. A few of these traditions include bobbing for apples and staring into a mirror at midnight. Surprisingly, pumpkin carving also has female origins dating back to the early 19th century. However, the earliest jack-o'-lanterns would be filled with fruit and eaten before bed to help women dream of their future spouse. Next fact. Trick-or-treating was banned during the 1940s due to a shortage of sugar rations. During World War II, the U.S. government temporarily outlawed Halloween celebrations and trick-or-treating. Because of the ongoing war, the country plunged into recession, including a scarce amount of sugar distribution. As a result, the government heavily regulated the distribution of sugar and sugar-related goods until the end of the war. I didn't know that. Next fact. Halloween was once considered as a holiday for romance. Before Halloween's rep as a holiday focused on spirits, ghouls, and ghosts, the holiday used to be a day for romance. During the 18th century, matchmaking was a popular activity on this day in Ireland. For some time, Halloween focused on looking towards the future and the living. For many women, this involved finding a spouse. Next fact. On Halloween, the use of silly strings is prohibited in Hollywood. In 2004, the mayor of Los Angeles forbade all use and retail of silly string in Hollywood on Halloween night. Failure to comply with this law can result in a $1,000 fine and 6 months of mandatory jail time for the use or possession of the item. If you're caught having silly string in Hollywood, you go to jail for 6 months. That seems intense. They must have a real problem with silly string there. Next fact. The most popular children's costumes on Halloween are superheroes and princesses. Among these costumes include superhero icons such as Marvel's Spider-Man. Hold on a second. Marvel's Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, DC's Batman, and Incredible Hulk. Additionally, the most popular type of princess costume is those that come from Disney princesses, like Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty. popular costumes include witches, ghosts, vampires, and skeletons. Silly string is that sticky stuff that comes in a can that you like shh and spray, and it shoots out like a string of like sticky foam, and you like spray it on people or items, and it's hard to get off, and it smells really weird. Thank you, Tellum. That's very kind. You always say very, very sweet things in my lives. Next fact. Many cities hold annual Halloween decorating contests for the best decorated house. Halloween is often a big event in certain American communities and neighborhoods. During Halloween, neighborhoods would often hold decorating contests for the most creative and spooky household attractions. Did anyone in school have like decorating contests for Halloween? Like you decorate your door? I loved doing that. I loved thinking up ideas to decorate our door. Next fact. In 2014, France banned people over the age of 12 from wearing clown costumes and makeup on Halloween. Wow. The town of Vendargue forbids children aged 13 and above from wearing any type of clown costume or makeup. This is due to the number of teens dressed as clowns wielding weapons being arrested by the French police due to violence and chaos created by the teens. The overall ban on clown-related costumes and makeup has since decreased the number of clown incidents during Halloween. That's so well. Anyway, hello, person with an Arabic name. I can't read that. I am so sorry. Could you tell me your name? Jokers before the Joker, yeah. So that I could say hello to you because I can't read Arabic. Next fact. Another matchmaking Halloween tradition involved staring at a mirror. During the 1800s, women would spend a large amount of time staring into a mirror. Oh, Sankar. Hello, Sankar. Thank you for joining. Would spend a large amount of time staring into a mirror in a darkened room during Halloween. It is said that after some time, the women would be able to see the face of her future husband in the mirror. This tradition was commonly done until the early 1900s. Next fact. In Scotland, women would also burn hazelnuts to determine their future spouse. This tradition comes from the ancient Celts, where women would designate each hazelnut for each of their love interests. The women would then throw these hazelnuts into the fire and wait for them to burn. If a hazelnut burned completely instead of popping, it signifies which man would become the woman's husband in the future. That sounds kind of fun, actually. That sounds like a fun little tradition. Next fact. On average, Americans buy 600 million pounds of candy for Halloween annually, according to the National Confectioners Association. The annual amount of candy on average bought by American citizens totaled to 600 million pounds for Halloween. This estimates to around $2.4 billion spent on candy during the weeks leading up to Halloween night. Sounds about right. Next fact. A full moon on Halloween night is considered rare. You may picture a big full moon when you think of Halloween, but it's actually very unlikely in real life. According to scientists, a full moon on Halloween is considered rare due to the moon's formation cycle. It was discovered that a full moon on Halloween will only appear once every 19 years in a phenomenon called the metonic cycle. Okay, it's pretty cool though. There's like 10 or so facts left on this article, so if anyone wants to suggest the next topic, feel free to do so. Next facts. Some studies have found that children become rowdy during Halloween. Oh, I need 5 more likes to hit my goal for the night, guys. I'd appreciate it if you could. Studies have been found that younger kids tend to be more chaotic than older children during this holiday. This is mainly because younger children are more impressionable, which leads them to believe that they are scarier and depicting real monsters on Halloween. Psychologists call this phenomenon de-individuation, where a person's identity is subsumed by the identity of a group. I know some schools close on Halloween so that kids can like calm down. Next fact. The traditional Halloween apple bobbing originated as a British courting ritual. During the Middle Ages, bobbing for apples was once a popular courting ritual amongst young women and their potential partners. In one of the many versions of the game, each apple in the tub would represent a potential mate. If it only takes one try to acquire the apple, it meant that they were destined for romance together. On the second try, she would be courted, but their love would fail, while 3 bites indicate a failed relationship. Apple bobbing's really fun, except you get really wet. Next fact. The Peanuts animated show helped revive the Halloween spirit. The commercialization of Halloween began after World War II when sugar rationing came to an end in 1947. Several candy companies began advertising campaigns, and the concept of Halloween, with help from popular characters such as the Peanuts crew and Disney's Donald Duck. At the time, these shorts portrayed the cartoon characters in Halloween-themed costumes preparing for the holiday. This enticed children to get back into the Halloween spirit and popularize trick-or-treating again. That's awesome. Next fact. Around 35 million pounds of candy corn are produced for Halloween annually. Ew. According to the National Confectioners Association, over 15,000 metric tons of candy corn sell annually, peaking during the weeks leading to Halloween Day. This iconic Halloween staple began production during the 1880s and became associated with the holiday during the 1950s. This is mainly due to the candy's colors, which resemble autumn themes and the fall harvest seasons. Candy corn is gross, but it is kind of pretty, I guess. Next fact. Playing with a Ouija board is a popular game during Halloween. The Ouija board is a popular game played by teenagers and young children. Also known as a spirit board, the item is said to act as a medium to communicate with ghosts. The standard Ouija board displays the letters of the alphabet, the phrases yes and no, and single-digit numbers. To use the board, all players must place a finger on the marker. Many paranormal and superstitious beliefs also surround the game, despite being criticized by the scientific community. Next fact. America spends $500 million on Halloween pet costumes each year. In 2019, researchers stated that Americans have spent nearly $500 million on pet costumes for Halloween. Statistics also show a rising trend in households with pets partaking in the Halloween activity. As of 2019, the most popular choices for Halloween pets costumes include a pumpkin, a hot dog, a superhero, and a bumblebee. Next fact. Men are more likely to spend more on Halloween than women. According to a study by the National Retail Federation of 2018, men spend an average of $14 more than women on this day. Additionally, another study found that women are more likely to carve pumpkins than men. Men are also more likely to attend Halloween parties than women. Next fact, which I definitely know. Halloween's considered the new year for those who practice Wicca. For Wiccans, Halloween is often considered the new year of witches. During this time, it is believed that both the world of the undead and the living are closer together compared to any other time of the year. I'm not Wiccan anymore. I was as a kid in my household, but the belief I follow still kind of believes that. And last fact. Since 2011, Halloween celebrations have been slowly declining over the years. A research study conducted in 2018 has found that the number of Halloween-related celebrations have slowly begun to decline in the United States since 2011. This is mainly due to changes in recent trends and laws that forbid teenagers in certain states from trick-or-treating. Wow. So that was the end of that. Let me make something so I can get more water. need to whisper about. Let me set this down again. Okay. Suggest the next topic. Be right back. There we go. All right. Okay. Who wants to pick the next topic for me to whisper about? Otherwise, I'm going to have to just pick one randomly. Suggest the next topic. What should we whisper about next? Let's see what I've got. Let me get some water first. Yummy. Water's so good. Okay. Let's see. There's, basically people, places, things, events, TV shows. Like, there's lots of different topics on here. So if there's any that you guys want me to whisper about, just let me know. Let me look at the science category, see if there's anything interesting there. Oh dear, not really. Let's see. Oh, there's geography facts. Well, we may just have to do that. Alright, so I'm going to do geography facts, but if anyone has any other topics, just drop it in the chat, okay? Next fact. Our first fact. Mastering geography as a subject takes 6 years. Geography is a broad field of study. Aside from learning about places, you have to study sociology, climate, and weather, as well as other sources. I just got an email. It is spam. Okay, anyway. A bachelor's degree in geography takes 3 to 4 years depending on the country, with an additional 2 years of a master's degree. However, it takes years of exposure and immersion to truly master geography and its many branches. Thanks, Abigail. I'm going to skip some of these and get to the good ones, like Papua New Guinea has the most spoken languages in the world. At 840 different dialects, Papua New Guinea holds the title for the country with the most spoken languages in the world. Water in my tummy. Okay, next fact. The Vatican is the smallest country in mass and population. Based on land mass, Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, only spanning 0.2 square miles. The Vatican is almost 120 times smaller than Manhattan. Next fact. This is weird. The Marianas Trench has been proposed as a nuclear waste dump site. Oceanic trenches have long been proposed as nuclear waste dumping sites, since tectonic plate movements could theoretically push the nuclear waste into Earth's mantle. However, international law prohibits the dumping of nuclear waste in any ocean. Tectonic plates also tend to cause megathrust earthquakes, which could be hazardous in the long run if nuclear waste was involved. I wouldn't want to dump nuclear waste in deep trenches to, prevent Godzilla from coming, obviously. What do you think? Let's see. Very important fact here. Eratosthenes invented geography in the 3rd century BCE. Eratosthenes was not the first scholar to write about the Earth. However, he was the first to correctly theorize and speculate most of the fundamentals we apply now. He published his book, Geographica, in 2 volumes. The first volume compiled existing knowledge about geography, along with his theories on the validity of the claims. The second volume explained his formula for calculating the circumference of the Earth. Yeah, that's where I get my channel name from, is the first ever book written about geography, the Geographica. Next fact, let's see. The definition of location. Yeah, we're going to skip this. The U.S. has the most states in the world. U.S. geography is unique since it has the most states out of any country in the world, with 50 unique states. How about this fact? Mount Everest is not the tallest mountain in the world. People widely believe Mount Everest to be the highest peak in the world. However, it's only the tallest mountain above sea level. Mauna Kea in Hawaii actually stands 3,000 feet taller than Mount Everest if you count its submerged base. Standing at 32,808 feet, Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in the world. Definitely one of the geography facts you didn't expect. Yeah, like provinces, territories, so on and so forth. I know Latvia has like a bunch of different territories, areas. I'm not sure, but yeah, 50 is really excessive. And next fact, Chimborazo is the closest peak to outer space. At only 20,564 feet in height, Mount Chimborazo is definitely not taller than Everest. However, its location at the equator pushes it closer to space than Mount Everest, which is 29,039 feet. How about this one? The Sargasso Sea is the only one without coasts. The Sargasso Sea is the only sea in the world without any surrounding land. Found in the northern Atlantic Ocean, it is surrounded by 4 ocean currents but no land in sight. The name sargassum borrows from the sargassum seaweed native to this sea. Oh, interesting. Kentucky has the most caves in the world. Hey Slayer, good to see you again. Kentucky's Mammoth Cave spans nearly 400 miles in length and has not been fully explored. Scientists believe 200 more miles can still be discovered, which makes the cave system the largest in the world. Next fact, Canada has the most lakes in the world. Not only is Canada the second largest country in the world, but it holds over half of all the natural lakes in the world. 9% of Canada is covered in fresh water. Let's see what else. Wow, a lot of these are really short. There's one town in the US with a population of 1. The only incorporated town in the US is Menominee, Nebraska. Elsie Eiler is the only citizen in Menominee. Wow. Do you know which country has the lowest crime rate, says Lachlan? The Vatican. I assume. But, like, in proportion to, let's see, this article is over anyway. Let me see. Probably like Japan or like Finland or something with lowest crime rate. I hit county. Country with the lowest crime rate. Iceland. It's Iceland. Iceland's the safest country in the world for the 14th year in a row. Iceland is a Nordic nation with a small population. That's pretty cool. Alright, what else should I whisper facts about? Let's see. Any places, any people, any topics, any events in history that you guys want me to whisper about peaceful giants? We can whisper about Iceland if you want. Suggest the next topic. What should we whisper about next? What do you want to hear me whisper about? Uh-oh. We've got a bot. Hold on. Let me block him. There we go. The Japanese shogunate says Slayer of Lore. That is a great one. Let me type in samurai. Samurai. Oh wow. Let me try shogun. Shogun. No, nothing popped up. Samurai. What did pop up was, let me see, the greatest warriors in history, which sounds pretty cool. Is that okay? Should we do the world's greatest warriors? That's pretty close. I'm sure there's samurai in the list. Is that okay? Hey Daryl, welcome. It's good to see you. Sure, okay. So, the greatest and strongest warriors in history. That's weird. There's no samurai facts. I'm sure there's Japan facts, but anyway. First warrior is Alexander the Great. First on our list remains the most feared warrior of all time, Alexander the Great, born in Pella, Macedonia. I'm doing well, thank you. It's late at night, but I'm not tired. Macedonia around 356 BCE and died on June 13th, 323 BCE in Babylon. Alexander the Great is known for his amazing feats. However, historians know him more as the king of Macedonia from 336 BCE up to his death. One of Alexander the Great's most impressive feats is the sacking of the Persian Empire and his travel to India. Hey Ryan, no sleep. Yeah, I got some sleep, but I'm awake. Philip II and Olympias, who was king, Neoptolemus' daughter, were Alexander the Great's parents. Despite this, it was Aristotle's teachings that nurtured Alexander's mind. Aristotle inspired Alexander with medicine, science, and philosophy. Unfortunately, Alexander disagreed with Aristotle on the topic of slavery. Alexander was already a skilled warrior when he became king. He had participated in the Battle of Mede and Cheronia under his father's will. Alexander destroyed all his rivals and was declared king after the death of his father. He even invaded the Persian Empire with the help of his men to pay his loyal warriors with the Persian wealth. King Darius, defeated by Alexander, ran away and abandoned his family. But this action only allowed us to glimpse a glimpse of Alexander's personality. The family of his enemy, which was left defenseless, were unharmed under his care. Proof that Alexander was a compassionate ruler despite his victories. Alexander the Great died at the age of 32. Historians debate his cause of death. Some historians believe it was malaria, while others suggest poison. Regardless, the empire could not survive without Alexander's intelligence and strength. His son Alexander IV and stepbrother Philip Aridius were assassinated immediately, and his empires separated from each other. The next warrior is Genghis Khan, and I should show you the pictures. Here's a cool statue of Alexander on his very good horse, Bucephalus. And here's the famous Genghis Khan statue, which is gigantic and shiny and silvery. In Mongolia, of course. Very cool. Let me sit up real quick. Hold on. I'm like sliding down on this bed. Okay. My tummy's making noises too because I'm drinking a lot of water. Genghis Khan is one of the most famous warrior kings in history. His real name was Temujin and was born in 1162 around Lake Baikal in Mongolia. He died on the 18th of August, 1227. His fame stems from Belly Demand's food. No, it's not. It's just full of water because I'm whispering for so long. It just has a lot of water in it. His fame stems from his successful conquests against opposing tribes and the unification of Mongolia. However, Genghis Khan was also able to conquer more than just Mongolia's territory. He sailed across the Adriatic Sea and managed to conquer different nations as well. This earned Genghis Khan's spot as one of the greatest warriors in existence. People know the Mongolian warrior king for both physical strength and intellect. Genghis Khan was a genius at ruling large nations despite coming from unknown origins. His method of ruling, his method of ruling prioritizes military prowess as he favored plundering campaigns instead of trades. Historians can only gather information about Genghis through non-Mongolian sources or the secret history of Mongols, which was published in the 1200s. Let me get some more water. Okay. As a result, we know only of the invasion and destruction that led to the actions of the great Mongol Empire. These records paint a very savage group of bandits despite no actual understanding of their objectives. The truth is that Genghis led his army within a detailed and organized structure. Some of the heinous acts committed by his men only reflected against him as the spirit of the army. Whether he was truly a warmonger or a sympathetic conqueror remains a debate to this day. However, Genghis indeed had many lovers who birthed him many children, resulting in 16 million descendants today. Archaeologists cannot find his body and still don't know how he died. 16 million people are related to Genghis Khan today. That's pretty cool. Next is Ashoka, and here he is, King Ashoka. Kind of a interesting pick, but okay. My stomach, I know it's full of water. I promise I'm not hungry at all. It's just I filled it up with water and it's making watery sounds. King Ashoka the Great is one of the greatest warriors of the Mauryan dynasty. He was the son of King Bindusara. Historians have noted that Ashoka the Great was disliked by his father due to his appearance. Oh no. However, King Bindusara also trusted King Ashoka a great deal. Even having Ashoka handled the Takshashila revolt. King Ashoka was born in India. Unfortunately, details of his younger years remain a mystery. Legends foretelling his youth spread a century after his death, like his supposed ability to recall his past lives. This is written very strange. 21 likes, I know. I need 4 more to hit the goal. 4 more likes. How about this? These facts are written by someone who doesn't know English, it sounds like. So let me tell you about them in my own way. So King Ashoka the Great. Ashoka was an Indian king from the Mauryan Empire, and he was a very, very fierce warrior. And one battle that he fought was the Battle of Kalinga. Let's see, it took place on the Dowley Hills in Dowley. It resulted in the death of 250,000 people, and he was so shocked by it, like it kind of like hit him very suddenly, that he killed 250,000 people, that he decided to end his battle campaigns, and he became like a hardcore Buddhist, and he spent the rest of his life promoting Buddhism around India. Alright, next is Julius Caesar. So, Julius Caesar, the dictator of Rome. He started off as just like a regular senator, I believe, and then he was commissioned a bunch of different military adventures, mainly across Gaul and what's now Great Britain and France and Central Europe. And his victories made him very, very, very famous in Rome. and he rose up the ranks and he eventually became the dictator. Um, he had an affair with Cleopatra. His wife's name was Julia, which sounds weird that his name was Julius and his wife's name was Julia. But he had an affair with Queen Cleopatra of Egypt in her attempt to try not to get him to invade Egypt. But eventually, Egypt would fall to the Romans, but not because of Julius Caesar. Um, but eventually, his power was becoming too much, and his arrogance and his hubris were just too much, so he was assassinated by his colleagues at the Ides of March. Next is King Leonidas. He's a Spartan, so he's naked. In fairness, Cleopatra, yeah, apparently she was gorgeous. King Leonidas is naked because the Spartans fought naked to intimidate their enemies. The Spartans were the fiercest warriors in ancient Greece, and at that time, the Persians were invading and trying to take over Greece. So King Leonidas led a battle of his Spartan warriors against the Persian army, which at that time was the strongest army in the world. And even though he lost, he's considered like a hero in Greece because of the battle that he waged with the Persians. The other city-states were able to build up their armies and stop the Persians from invading. So if Leonidas hadn't slowed them down, Greece would have been Iranian today. It's possible. So he's a hero. Next is King Richard the Lionheart. There's his tomb. Richard the Lionheart's battles were famous in the Crusades. My poor tummy. King Richard was hardly ever in England. He was the King of England, but he spent most of his time traveling to fight in the Crusades. And his mother was Eleanor of Aquitaine. And I need one more like, guys, one more like. His mother was Eleanor of Aquitaine, and she wanted him to get married and have kids to continue the English throne. Hey, Tommy, it's so full of water. I'm not hungry, I promise you. But he didn't want to get married and have kids. He wanted to fight battles. The Spartans fought in full armor. Oh, they practiced naked. That's what it was. You are correct, Slayer. You're very correct. They had, the phalanx formation. You are correct. There's someone else then that fought naked. It wasn't the Spartans then. I don't know who then. I don't remember. So, King Richard left England to go fight in the Crusades, and Eleanor picked out a wife for him and followed him and forced him to, marry this princess from what's now Germany, I suppose. She's from Bavaria. And, oh no, right? Bavaria or Navarre, I don't know. Anyway, but eventually he would go on crusade, and he wouldn't actually fight in any, major battles, but he helped negotiate a lot of battles in the Crusades. And on his way back, he was kidnapped in Austria, or what's now Austria, and held for ransom. And England had to pay the ransom to get their king back. And, the next one's a Nazi. We're skipping him. Apparently, that's how Vienna became wealthy. Daryl the Lionheart. I like that. Apparently, the wealth of the Habsburgs originated from the ransom of King Richard the Lionheart. Next, we have, let's see, I have to remember my facts about him. It's Alaric. Oop, there we go. Alaric the Visigoth. Can you see him there on the horse? Alaric the Visigoth. He was the bane of existence to the Romans, and one of the reasons that the Romans really became incredibly weak was that he sacked Rome, I believe. Yeah, he was like the first barbarian to sack the Roman Empire. Rome had been attacked before then by the barbarians. Barbarians meaning people who don't speak Latin. But he was the only one to actually attack the Roman Empire and succeed. Oh gosh. Okay, we're skipping Vlad the Impaler. Vercingetorix. So there's Julius Caesar, and on the horse there's Vercingetorix, who was another barbarian. He was Gaulish. So much water in me. Oh, I had 25 likes. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. We hit the goal. Vercingetorix fought Julius Caesar in the Battle of Alesia, where Julius Caesar held him off in a war of attrition. He basically surrounded his troops and starved them out until he surrendered. Next, we have William Wallace. There he is. He was a Scottish man who fought against the British, against King Edward I, in order for him not to conquer Scotland, in a sense. But he was eventually captured and like horrifically killed and dismembered. That's like pretty much all I know about William Wallace. I know that like they tossed his body parts like in various parts of the world so that no one could like honor his death spot. The Scottish Che Guevara, pretty much. Next is Attila the Hun. There he is on a throne there, part of the Huns. The Huns were a not Serbian. What's the term? What's the word for like? I forgot. Anyway, he was part of the Huns, and he fought against the Romans, and he like managed to conquer like a lot of territory, offshoot of the Mongolians. Like the early forms of the Mongols was the Huns, because the Mongols weren't quite a thing yet. But what's the term for like not like Serbian people, Russian people? What are they called? I don't know how I've blanked on this. Like they have a language family. Slavic, thank you. Slavic is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Balkan would be a good, like that's the area, Lucas. But thank you. I was thinking Balkan. I knew it wasn't that, and I'm trying to say Serbian, and I know it starts with an S. Slavic. He was part of a Slavic dynasty. Here's Musashi. Speaking of samurai, Miyamoto Musashi, one of the greatest Ronin, which was a traveling samurai who didn't have like a master that he obeyed. He basically created like samurai fencing, which was not a style of fighting at all in Japan, and he became a very, very famous swordsmith. Here's Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general that attacked the Roman Empire by riding his elephants over the Alps to invade Rome. Let's see. Here's Boudica. I'm sorry, this is like random, but we'll read an article in a minute. Boudica was a Celtic warrior queen who fought against the Romans. A lot of these fought against the Romans. She tried to lead the Celts against the warrior queen. She tried to lead the Celts against the Romans to stop them from invading Great Britain, what's now Great Britain, the island. But she was unsuccessful. But she's still kind of like beloved, and that's all the ones that I know about. Okay. Who wants to suggest the next topic? suggest the next topic. What should we whisper about next? I'm still in the mood to whisper. I've been doing this for almost 2 hours, but I'm still going. What should we do? What should we whisper about next? Empires, says Lucas. Okay. Let me look it up. I'm sure there's a lot of topics on that. Let's see. Empires. Oh wow, there isn't. There's what came up first was the Empire State Building. Is there any empire in particular you would want me to whisper about? Maybe I can find more details if I look up a specific empire. The British Empire. Okay. Let me see if there's anything here about the British. Let's see. British Empire. There is not. There's Winston Churchill facts, John Dee facts, Florence Nightingale, Buckingham Palace. Let me try England. Greek gods would be cool. Yes, okay. Also for England, we have Shakespeare, Stonehenge. Yeah, that's pretty much it for like English stuff. Let's look up Greek gods. Sorry, Lucas. Unless any of those topics sounded interesting to you. Greek gods. Wow. This is so weird. Like, they have, not do Greek gods, okay. They have ancient Greece facts, but then there's also Hades facts, Aphrodite facts, Poseidon facts, and that's it for Greek gods. They don't have a specific one, but there is a thing on here about dead languages, and that sounds kind of interesting. Should we do a specific Greek god or dead languages? What do you think? Hades. Yes, right. You have a cat named Hades. All right, let's read about Hades. Here he is, the Greek god of the underworld. Let's learn more about him. Let's see if I learned anything, because Hades is one of my favorite gods. He was so interesting. All right, first fact. Hades means the one who presides over death. His name means many things, whether it comes with a job or not. The most common meaning behind his name is the unseen one, and in some translations, his knowledge of all noble things. British classical scholar Martin Litchfield West argued that the name Hades' original meaning is the one who presides over death, a fitting name for the god of the underworld. Next fact. His most popular epithet is the god of wealth. Though the earth is abundant in wealth, there's a lot more undiscovered underneath it. It's not a surprise that the epithet God of Wealth fits Hades, since everything within his realm is his. Some of his other epithets are Polluton, the rich one, Clymenus, which means notorious, Hesperos Theos, god of death and darkness. Next fact. Some of his alternative names start with Zeus. Hades is just as powerful as his brothers, who are Poseidon and Zeus, but his youngest brother took the title of being the chief Olympian god. This is probably the reason why Hades was sometimes called the second Zeus. His alternative names, Zeus Apuleius, or Good Counsel, Amagi, and Zeus Malikios, easy to be treated, came from Orphic hymns, and Hades' alternative names. That's interesting. Let me find more specific. Let's see. His sacred plants are the narcissus flower and the cypress tree. Greens don't grow in the underworld, but its king has a fondness for it due to sentimental reasons. He abducted his would-be wife Persephone while she was picking narcissus flowers, which means rebirth and renewal in flower language. On the other hand, people lay their sacrifices for the underworld couple underneath the cypress tree, a symbol of immortality. Next fact. His other popular symbols are the pomegranate and white poplar trees. It's a little ironic that the pomegranate is a symbol of fertility when nothing lives in the underworld, but the fruit is important to Hades because he uses it to convince Persephone to stay. The white poplar tree is sacred because it's a tree of mourning, and also because of the Oceanic nymph Lucy he also fell in love with. Um, Next fact. Hades wields a two-pronged spear called Aegis. There's no need for weapons in the underworld, but its king does. The godly brothers' weapons are the symbols and a progression of who comes first. Zeus's lightning is a single-pronged weapon, while Poseidon carries the three-pronged trident. Similarly enough, Hades wields a bident, or two-pronged spear called Aegis. I didn't know that. Okay, I learned something that's pretty cool. Next fact is the Cyclopes gifted him with the cap of invisibility. Before Hades and his brothers defeated the Titans, the one-eyed giants called Cyclopes made their weapons. The king of the underworld received the cap of invisibility, or sometimes called the helm of darkness. He used it to distract their father Kronos by stealing his weapons. They called him the Unseen for this reason. That's pretty cool. Let's see. He's not an evil god, contrary to popular belief. Hades has always been painted as an evil god due to his association with the dead, but nothing could be further from the truth. Hades was a humble and benevolent god, but he was often mistaken to be the Greek equivalent of Lucifer or Satan. Let's see. I noticed that my viewership dropped considerably, so we might need a more relevant topic. Wow, this is very, very long. Dead languages. Why don't we do dead languages? Dead languages. Sorry, it's just that the Hades one was way too long and way too detailed. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, Daryl. There's a lot of cool facts in there. Alright, so first dead language we have is Latin. Latin sounds so cool, says Ryan. Yes. A list of dead languages without Latin is just bad research. Is Latin a dead language? Yes, it is. Latin remains an important part of modern society. It's used for medical terms and animal classifications. It was the dominant language of the Roman Empire. It influenced French, Italian, and Portuguese. Some countries still use Latin as school mottos. Another amazing fact is that there are terms today that we use in casual conversations written in Latin. An example would be carpe diem, meaning seize the day. You can find this saying in many t-shirts and mugs printed on it. Yeah, the Vatican, they still speak Latin. Another one is memento mori, which means remember you must die. While memento may be familiar to you, the word mori is Latin for death. Here we go. The Vatican is the only country that uses Latin as its official language. This is because many holy scriptures are written in Latin. When did Latin die? Reports of it gradually dying out began after the fall of the Roman Empire. Let me sit back up. I keep sliding down. Alright, we're getting more people, and I got another like. Should we do a goal for 30 likes? I didn't expect to get 30 likes. Why not? Let's do it. New goal. 30 likes. Let me pin it real quick, and then we'll read about the next language. I didn't think we'd get to 30, but I think we will. Next language is Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the oldest language in the world. It died around 600 BCE. However, this doesn't stop the language from continuing to influence the modern world today. Currently, it is one of India's official languages. A big reason for this is because most of the ancient scriptures regarding Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism were written in its language. Sanskrit's fame doesn't stop there. The dead language is actually a popular study for many students, thanks to many philosophical works under it. Vedas were a popular philosopher who wrote in Sanskrit. He specialized in spiritual and medical theories. Interesting. The next language is Ancient Greek. Some of the most famous philosophers in the world, like Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, and Homer, lived in ancient Greece. Classical researchers still use this language. Many scientific terminologies, just like the Latin language, are written in ancient Greek, like Geographica. The death of this Greek language is special because it didn't really die. Ancient Greek had transformed. Now modern Greek is being used as the official language of Greece. Still, the language remains a popular study and is even a subject of elite universities because it influenced modern society. Another interesting fact is that many words from the English language also come from them. I wonder if Old English is going to be on this list. Next is Akkadian. Akkad was a Mesopotamian city. It was where the Akkadian language was born. It's actually the first certified Semitic language. Wow. Its writing style was in cuneiform. Mesopotamians, Babylonians, and Chaldeans spoke Akkadian. Because of its inability to evolve through time, the Akkadian language died out. It's important to learn Akkadian if one wishes to learn cuneiform. Next is Biblical Hebrew. The Biblical Hebrew saw its initial demise after the destruction of the Temple of Jerusalem, and it ultimately lost hope of being active again after the Holocaust. While most of the rabbis during World War II had died, the 8,000-word language transformed into modern Hebrew. It's also important to note that if one wishes to learn Biblical Hebrew, it would be much simpler than any other dead language. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, ancient Greece did so much for our modern world. It's like unbelievable, including naming my channel. Next language is Coptic. The Coptic language is an ancient Egyptian language. It's an Egyptian language written in the Greek alphabet. In fact, it was the last stage of the ancient Egyptian language before being replaced with Arabic. It's considered the first ever Christian language. It's also the result of 4 different languages: Greek, Demotic, Hieratic, and hieroglyphics. There was a time it was preserved as a religious language, but it ended after 300 years. Next is Aramaic. Jesus Christ spoke the Aramaic language. It was so widely used during its heyday that it became the lingua franca of its time as the primary language. Akkadian language was replaced by the more complex Aramaic language. There are Aramaic speakers, but none from the country it originated from, Aram, which fell to the Assyrians in ancient times. Ironically, despite its destruction, Assyrians even used Aramaic as a second language because of its status as the lingua franca of the Middle East. The reason for its dying state was the diaspora of its speakers. There was a time that researchers even feared that by the next century, Aramaic would become extinct. Thanks to its historical significance and the written texts that need to be further studied in its language, the Aramaic remains preserved. That's good. Sorry, I have an itch on my nose. Next is Old Norse. Vikings were the invaders from the north. They are one of the most historically famous groups in the world, and they spoke Old Norse. The death of the Old Norse language was like the Aramaic. Many of their descendants split into various groups and became Icelandic, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, and Faroese. Yes, nor sky. Perfect. Modern English actually uses many Old Norse words such as cake, knife, and berserk. This is because both languages stem from the Germanic family, allowing similarities between the two. An example is their influenced words such as husband, which is derived from hus and bondi. Another example would be Thursday, which is derived from Thursday. And here it is, Old English. As the ancestor of modern English today, England spoke Old English during the 1100s. There were three genders in Old English: masculine, neuter, and feminine. The famed Old English eventually died and transitioned into the more grammatically correct Middle English. Middle English. Another name for Old English is Anglo-Saxon. The Anglo-Saxon also refers to that period of history in England and Wales. And one more dead language, and then it goes into endangered languages. So the last dead language on here is Old High German. Old High German was actually a collection of dialects from Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. There were Upper High German dialects such as Franconian, Alemannic, and Bavarian as well. There are many literary works written in this language, mostly religious and philosophical. Alright, so endangered languages. Number 1 is Danish, which you wouldn't expect as an endangered language. Danish is the official language of Denmark. The country still exists, yes. So why is their language considered endangered? Just like the Akkadian, the Danish language is having a considerable amount of struggle in developing throughout the changes in time. Danes are now adapting to modern English, and globalization has now triggered an effect within Denmark. It is proving that modern English increases more profit. Fortunately, the Danish government is taking extra steps to prevent its demise. That's interesting. Next is Kalaalleq. Who knows where Kalaalleq is spoken? Kalaalleq is very, very hard to pronounce. I know that's not even how you pronounce it. That's just how it's like phonetically spelled out. But it is the language of Greenland, or Greenlandic, it's also known as. If the question, what language do they speak in Greenland, has ever crossed your mind, the answer is Greenlandic. There are 3 forms of Greenlandic: West Greenlandic or Kalaalleq, North Greenlandic or Avarnersuarmutat, and East Greenlandic or Tunumisset. Kalaalleq comes from Inuit culture, and the Inuits make up most of Greenland's population. The reason for Kalaalleq being listed here as vulnerable is because of the population. Currently, only 17 Inuit communities speak Kalaalleq, and all 17 live in the west of Greenland. Next is Ayapaneko. There's a lot to unpack if you even consider how many languages are spoken in Mexico. Danish was endangered, neither did I. I had no idea, but it makes sense when you think about it. There are 68 official languages in Mexico. Wow. Ayapaneko is a critically endangered language originating from Tabasco, Mexico. It's also called Ayapazoque. There are only 2 living native speakers left, however. The speakers Isidro Velasquez and Manuel Segovia refuse to speak to each other. Locals and relatives of the 2 aren't sure why. They do admit that they don't get along well. Velasquez is a homebody, and he remained fluent in Ayapaneko thanks to his brother. The reason for the lack of Ayapaneko native speakers is due to the 20th century educational reform in Spain, where children were enforced not to speak any other unapproved language. That is a crazy story that there's 2 people left that speak this language and they hate each other. That's so funny. Then on this list we have Resijaro. Resijaro. One of the most critically endangered language is Resijaro, originating from Peru. Is Welsh in danger? I hope not. It's not on this list, so that's good. The Arawak people were its native speakers, and Pablo Andrade became the last speaker of Resijaro after Rosa Andrade was beheaded. The good news is Pablo is currently working with the Peruvian government to preserve this rare language. He corrects Resijaro grammar and literature and fills any gaps of knowledge regarding its vocabulary and structure. Well, that's good. Last on here is runic symbols. It says, we'd like to honorably mention the runic alphabet and runic symbols that have also died. They were a common writing system for many dead languages, most notably of Germanic origin. Just like cuneiform and hieroglyphics, they once went hand in hand with their respective languages. The reason we're adding this to the article is for you to know that, should you wish to learn a language, you must first learn to listen before speaking and finally writing. Think of it as an ultimate step to your completion to becoming a fluent speaker of any dead language you prefer. Alright, let's do one last topic because I'm starting to get sleepy finally, and I think my voice is starting to crack. Let's pick something really broad, like let me look up like world. How about the 20 oldest countries in the world? Oh no, wait. I used this article to make a trivia question for Monday, so we're not reading that. I forgot. Let's see. Any other ideas for a last one? Something really like vague and broad. Let's see. Let's see. Like, here's Europe. Facts about Europe. Let's do that. Let's see. First of all, we're almost at 30 likes. We need 2 more. If 2 people could like this video, we'd hit the goal for the night. So much water in me. Alright, so first fact about Europe. Pardon me. No, 1 more like. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. I need 1 more to hit the goal for the night. Hey, we did it. We did it. 30 likes. Thank you. That's the most likes on a whisper stream for sure. So thank you. First fact. Europe is the world's 2nd smallest continent. The current size of Europe is 3.9 million square miles. Yay, we did it. Europe is the world's 2nd smallest continent. It covers approximately 2% of the Earth's surface. Australia is the world's smallest continent, and Asia is the largest. Next fact. There are 50 countries in Europe. Europe Facts tells us there are 50 countries in Europe, including the world's smallest country, Vatican City. The most visited countries in Europe are France, Spain, Italy, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Europe is home to 5 transcontinental countries that straddle the border between Europe and Asia. These countries are Azerbaijan, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Turkey. It's interesting to note that even though only part of Russia is on the European continent, it is still the largest country in Europe. Russia isn't the only transcontinental country of note. Turkey happens to be home of the largest European city, Istanbul. Wow. Quick drink. I figure once I'm out of water, we'll end the video. Let's see. Next fact. 28 European countries are members of the European Union. The European countries don't just share a continent and borders, they've also made many political and economic ties. Europe Facts indicate the count Council of Europe has 47 member states. Its focus is on democracy and human rights. It cannot make binding laws but works to create standards for human rights in Europe, among other things. Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Vatican City are not members of the Council of Europe. Why would Kazakhstan be in that? Kazakhstan's in Asia. I don't know. 28 European countries have joined together to become the European Union. The European Union makes binding laws that serve to advance the economic and political goals of the area. 19 of the member states even use the euro as their currency. Next fact, the name Europe comes from Greek. Europe Facts tells us the name Europe is believed to have derived from Greek. Europa was a princess in Greek mythology. Homer also wrote of a queen named Europe. Later in 6 BCE, Greek geographers used Europe as a geographic name. The modern understanding of what we know of as Europe was developed in the 19th century. Next fact, Europe gave birth to Western civilization. Europe has a unique claim to fame. It is the home continent of the Greeks, who founded Western civilization. We can thank these early Europeans for democracy, philosophy, history, drama, verse, medicine, and science. Let's see. How about this one? World War I ended 4 European empires. Europe has seen numerous wars among its constituent countries, but World War I drew countries from outside the continent. Most of the fighting during World War I was focused in Europe. It became a war of two sides, the Allies and the Central Powers. Initially, the Allies included the United Kingdom, France, and Russia. The Central Powers were Germany and Austria-Hungary. Eventually, more countries joined these alliances, including the United States and Japan. World War I was one of the largest wars the world has seen. World War I ended the German, Russian, Ottoman, and Austro-Hungarian empires and led to a new map of Europe. The war also led to the formation of the League of Nations, which would set the foundation for the formation of the United Nations. There's a lot of rhyming in there. Let's see. Let me find some good ones in here. Europe contains both the smallest and largest countries in the world. Oh no, this was a short article. Let me find more cool facts then. Let's see. Europe makes 44% of the world's wine. There are 21 countries in the European Union that produce wine. The European Union regulates wine zones. Oh, I can hear my voice cracking. I think this will be the last one. Wine zones to ensure clear labeling of wine varieties to help vineyards and consumers. Europe Facts indicate approximately 44% of the world's wine and raisins come from European Union vineyards. The 3 largest wine-producing countries in the world are all EU members: Italy, France, and Spain. Yeah, I can hear my voice starting to crack. If I speak up just a tiny bit, my voice is starting to go. So I'm gonna end the stream for the night. Let me finish this water. What's better than wine? I don't know. I've never had wine in my life. Thank you for the stream. Have a nice sleep and a nice Sunday. Oh my gosh, a bot showed up. Hold on. Free wine. That's true. There we go. Yeah, I don't drink alcohol, so I've never had wine. Let me clear this. Let me write a big... I'm glad you enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for 2.5 hours while we whispered some random stuff. I need some ideas for like what else I can do in the middle of the night when I'm channel when I'm bored at night. I like edit videos and rehearse videos and film videos and post videos. So when I'm not at home, I just don't know what to do with myself at night when I can't sleep. So if anyone has any other ideas that we could do at night, if I'm ever out and about, I'll be home today, so there won't be anything tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. Let me give you some love. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more sleep. I'm still not too tired, but I think I can maybe get another hour or so. And yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and thank you for the 30 likes. That's amazing. Have a great night, everyone.